Hi you guys, it's Tanya, and I just wanted to share with you today my project that I completed for MyTeddyBoo.com's design team. And when Amy and I were talking about the concept of the mini album that I wanted to create, I knew from the second I saw the hot air balloon and the dress form that I wanted to do Steampunk Debutante. I was so excited about it. So that is what we decided to do, and I told her, I said, I want the hot air balloons to be poking out from behind the dress forms, and she said, well, it'll be interesting to see how that happens because the two albums are two different sizes. So I'm going to show you guys today how I did it, and I hope you really enjoy this. I love working with these albums. Thank you so much, Amy, for selecting me to be on your team, because these albums rock, guys. I have so many people complain to me about how they don't like doing mini albums because the pictures have to be so small, or it's hard to fit enough stuff onto the page to call it an album. So these albums have so much real estate and so many possibilities. They are 5.5 inches wide this way, and then they're again about almost, this one is 9.5 inches this way. So a lot of real estate, great options for normal 4x6 photos. You may have to trim just a hair off of them to get them to fit, but for the most part you could work with 4x6 photographs in this mini album. So let's get started, because this is going to be probably a three-parter. There's a lot of details here and I don't want you guys to miss a single one of them. I am also going to show some close-up slides. Sorry for the quality of the video. My camera is not the best in the universe, but there'll be a slideshow with some high resolution photos at the very end, so please stay tuned for that. On the cover, what I did was I just used a lot of the fibers that were left over from the mini to bind it off. I used jump rings for the binding on this, and I was able to incorporate a lot of items that people have sent me in racks or my squirrely boxes over the last couple of months. So it was really refreshing to be able to use up some of those things too. And if I can remember who gave it to me, then I'll let you guys know, but sometimes it's I get so much at one time that it's a blur. So thank you for everyone who sent me anything that got used in this album. I really did appreciate it, and I really love it, or I wouldn't have used it. But I wanted steampunk is one of those things that for me probably is like a signature style for me, because I've probably made more albums or more projects out of the steampunk line than any other, and it's because it is such a rich, vibrant color palette. The imagery is inspiring to me. I know it scares a lot of people, but for me it's inspiring. It's engineering meets fashion. It's femininity, which I can't even say, feminine versus masculine gears and industrial, and I just love it. I love the whole concept. I love everything about it. I can be grungy or I can be pretty, and I absolutely love it. So it's just very rich, and on this album I wanted that richness and that metallic look to really shine in this, and I think I did a good job. So on the spine, like I said, I used some fibers that were left over from the project, and I made a swivel clasp charm to house some of the charms that I had gear marked for this album that I never got to use. And on that charm I made I used up some of these little beads. And then this is a little bird that I made using the shrink plastic. It's the Sizzix bird in the branch, and guys, you know that bird is huge, and it shrunk down to this size. And I had quite a few people on my channel give me some tips on other ways to use the shrink plastic, and this was one of those tips that they gave me, to run it through an embossing folder before you actually heat set it, and then it'll etch the emboss image into the glass. But then what it does is when it makes it glass, it fuses that inside, but the plastic is not raised. It's really smooth, so it's almost like it was like made inside the glass, which is really cool. So I made the little steampunk bird and used my Cuttlebug embossing jacket, and I had a couple people tell me to do that, so thank you guys for giving me that little technique, and I really enjoyed it, and I'll try and do a video on that too, so for those of you who have never heard of that process. And then I just used some leftover gears that I had from the Tim Holtz, and then I had this charm a while back to use on another project. I wanted to use it in here somewhere. It didn't work out, so I just added it to the swivel class charm here on the outside. Then this is, of course, I'm not going to go through and say this is this through the whole album. We'll never get through it. But if you recognize some of these flowers, you know where they're from. This is a stick pin that I got from one of my squirrely sisters. And then this is a Michael's frame that was black, and I went over it with some copper and gold paint. And then on the wings, these are cut from grunge paper, not grunge board, grunge paper. So it's a little thinner, but I wanted these wings to have the ability to, you know, I didn't want them to rip, and I wanted them to be flexible and feathery, so I used the paper versus the grunge board. The grunge board's just too thick. And then I embossed the dress form with some of the Lindy Stamp Gang embossing powder that Sandra gave me. Thank you, Sandra. I absolutely love using this with this. And I don't know what this color is, but my guess would be something chocolate truffle, because it's really dark chocolate. This is one of those Prima leaves, and you know, I'm notorious for using things for something other than their intended purpose, and this was a leaf to be used with flowers, and I made a skirt out of it. So you know, Nancy and I were talking one night, and we kind of you know, talked through doing that together, and thank you for that, Nancy, for that inspiration. And then I also added some of the embossing powder to the cage here, but I did it blotchy. It's not all covering completely, and so it kind of has that hammered metal look, and I used a copper color here. So that's the cover. And then like I said, I really like the fact that you can see the balloon from behind the dress form. So when you open it up, the next page I kept really simple. I didn't do a lot of stuff to it, but here I left this open. I know it's tacked down, but I left it open so that I could tuck a photograph underneath it and have a little dimension there. And then again, there's another one of those rose leaves that are from Prima, and then I just embossed this. Kept it really simple on this page because this is a lot of room for a really nice size photograph. And then on this page, I'm sorry, I have a little bit of a head cold today, so I'm sniffling. On this page, we use the hot air balloon, and I think steampunk is interactive, and it should be. So I included a pocket where I could put photographs, journaling, whatever, inside this pocket, and I just took some simple cardstock that matched and embossed it with my Cuttlebug and cut it with the Baroque die. And these were some of the flowers that Amy had sent in the kit, and then these I made from the scraps. The roses I made from the scraps. And then the butterfly, I added some of the UT on it. And these are the little steampunk birds that I made with Cooper the day. I did a video on it before Cooper did a video, so if you haven't seen Steampunk Birds, go watch that video. And then I got this from Darlene in my secret squirrely box, and thank you, Darlene. And then I just made the little envelope from the scraps and included a little journal tag there. But you know, when Amy and I were talking about this, I was like, I'm so gonna make your hot air balloon fly. And guess what, guys? I did. Whenever you lift the Velcro on here and remove the belly band, that is the ribbon, because you know, hot air balloons are usually tied down, and when you lift it, he flies up to reveal the journaling spot for the photographs that are inside the pocket. So the hot air balloon does fly, and I really think it had to have movement in it because it's steampunk. So then when we go to the next page, again, I was on the phone with Amy talking about what we wanted to do, and I had told her that I had some Tim Holtz, or not Tim Holtz, well, yeah, Tim Holtz. I had some of his embellishments and things like that, so not to worry about sending me a ton of metal pieces because I knew I already had those for other projects. But then I also was telling her about these light bulbs that I found at the hardware store, and I bought these light bulbs long before Tim Holtz had the had the light bulbs in his collection. So if you can't find them at your hardware store, Tim Holtz does have them. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it just a little better right there. But I found them, I got 5 of them for like $1.50 at a hardware store. So look in hardware stores for steampunk items. And then these were some clocks that were stamped images from the Printery, Prima Printery stamp set. And then I just used some of my crackle accents on the top of them to really make them look like glass. More of my little steampunk birds. This is an itty bitty dress form that comes in the kit. It's only about that long. It's so stinking cute. And then I just added butterfly wings for the wings for this dress form. Now, when we were talking about the light bulbs, I said, you know, your hot air balloon kind of looks like a light bulb. So on this page, instead of doing a hot air balloon, I made the hot air balloon into a light bulb and used the gears from the Tim Holtz die cut to you know, create a pocket on top of the light bulb, so you have plenty of spots for journaling here. And then behind the light bulb there is also a pocket so that you can add more tags or journal spots in there. And then I added bead gel to the top of the light bulb. And then on this I just left this open. This is one of my favorite images from the paper collection, and I left it open so that you could add a photograph here if you'd like. Then when you come to this side, I have another dress form page that I've cut down. Now I had to cut, like I said, 1/4 of an inch off of these at the top in order for them to match up with the balloons, because they are just a little bit longer, as you can tell from the top of the dress form. They're about that much longer than the balloon. But I like the fact that the knob sticks up out of the here. I just had to cut this down. And then I also decided that I wanted to cut every page down so that I could see the hot air balloon poking out from the side. So on this one I have the dress form that I used the walnut stain. I just covered the top of it with the walnut stain, but it didn't saturate completely into the chipboard. Excuse me, guys. And then so I used my Tainted Love Teal Lindy Stamp Gang to spray it to finish coloring in the chipboard, and look at how it's absolutely a perfect match for this hot air balloon. Isn't it gorgeous? And then this is a crochet flower that I got from Amy, Worker Forever 123. Thank you, Amy, for that. Her work is just so beautiful. Her little crochets flowers are perfect. And then this is the Tim Holtz gear die cut on the shrink plastic, and then I covered it with alcohol mixative in the gold and in the copper. And when I heat set it, it tend to keep the alcohol ink keeps the shrink plastic from shrinking or curling up too bad. It kind of keeps it somewhat flat, but it also created this awesome texture on these gears. So I'll show you another video on how I did that. And then I just made a little stick pin, but I left the stick pin open so that a photograph could slide easily under that. So you still got plenty of room here for real estate for photographs. And I love how you still see the hot air balloon from this side as well, with the dress form in the foreground. And then these are just some little Prima flowers I got from Flamingo Scraps. And then on this side, I love how on this side the dress form has the light bulb in the background. This is one of my favorite pages, and I think it's all the colors, and it's just, there's a lot going on this page. But again, here's some more of the gears that I used with the shrink plastic and the Prima flowers, the butterfly. And then these were also from Amy, Worker Forever 123. She sent them to me. They're like nylon rosebuds that have like a little jewel in the center of them, and I sprayed them with the dark chocolate truffle Lindy Stamp Gang to get them that really nice chocolate color. And then these are the wheats from Carla's Etsy store, and they're the blue, and I just cut them down and just tuck them in around the rosebuds just to give a little bit more stability to this end of this dress form down here, so it wouldn't tear as it was being flipped from side to side. But this is the cool thing about this page. Again, steampunk is about interactivity. So I have the lady here. I added some gears and some Prima to her hair. But what I did was, there's two pieces here of her. There's the background piece, which is in the background, and then I fussy cut a second piece out of her and created this pocket that has this it's put together with pop dots. So there's plenty of room for a couple of pages of these little Baroque dies to go in there too. So lots of real estate on this page for photographs as well. And again, I don't know if I said it or not, but another one of Amy's crocheted flowers here for worker 123. I've got two Amy's in this video. And then on this side, again, we have their hot air balloon, and this is the Prima trim that Amy sent me in the kit, and it's got it's gray, and it's got the bling on it, which is why I incorporated some of the bling on some of the dress forms and things. And then another one of the steampunk birds. But the cool thing about this page is it says be yourself. It's just stamped be yourself, which was a scrap left over from a card that I was making, and I saw it and I thought, you know, she looks a little odd, a little different, so I thought be yourself would kind of be appropriate for this. And I made like a little tag spot here. Plenty of room left here for photograph, obviously. And then also I have a fussy cut butterfly there from the collection. But the cool thing about this one, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to see this from this camera angle, I'm gonna have to tilt this up a little bit, but like I said, every single Graphic 45 thing should have, for steampunk, should be interactive. So this is also Velcroed down, and it has a little pop-up of a woman with the balloon on it that is an image from the paper collection. And it's quite dimensional in there. I mean, I've got room to stick my finger behind her, so she pops out quite a bit. And then I just added a little envelope behind her with the tag with the stamp image from the paper collection, I mean from the Graphic 45. Isn't it gorgeous? And then on this side is the back, and I just added some trim, and this has one of the clear acetate sleeves, and then I also have on here a pocket. I cut this with the Tim Holtz on the edge die, and you know, I don't have to put anything in there. I just put that in there to show you that that is a pocket that's there. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Amy, for selecting me to be on your team. I've absolutely enjoyed working on this album. I've had such an amazing time with it. Again, guys, her albums are so versatile. You can use them for just about anything, and she has a lot of different designs, so go check her out. I'll put the link to her channel down in the bottom, and also to her store. And you know, again, thank you so much, and thank you to all of the people who sent me things that I was able to incorporate into this album. It makes it very special, and I appreciate all of your kindness, and look forward to doing some branch out videos on techniques and things that I've done using pieces to make this album. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.